The sun's out today, and apparently we're gonna get a lot of it all week, which is nice. And what was going on today? Apparently DJI has this launch for the drone. Your assumption would be it will be for the Air2s. This one says, get ready for the one, and they're announcing it on April 15th, they said. Now there have been pictures and stuff that you saw online, and you know what it looks like. But just like the Mini 2, for some reason it seems like people randomly bought this from the store ahead of its release. Makes you wonder if it's planned. Like this one here, someone has like an unboxing video and all that. And apparently, just like the other ones, they're saying they can't fly it because they can't activate it before the launch date. But the person did apparently list all the specs from the manual. Last time we knew some basic details, it would have things like a 1-inch sensor, a 20 megapixel camera. Even though it's lower by the number than the previous one, it should be better overall. And what did we learn this time here? So we see here it says the takeoff weight 595 grams, flight time 31 minutes, operating temperature 0 to 40 degrees Celsius. And basically for the camera, as we expected, the 1-inch sensor, 20 megapixel camera. The lens, FOV 88 degrees, 35mm format equivalent 22mm. Aperture f2.8, focus range 0.6 to infinity. But the video resolution is kind of interesting. It indicates here you can actually shoot more than 4K. It says here video resolution 5.4K, and it can shoot at 30 frames per second according to this. And if you want 60 frames, for example, the 4K will do it. So that's actually an interesting bump. And it makes you think too, just in terms of the other drones that may come out, let's just say things like a Mavic 3, will they have things like 8K in order to compete with the competition? Because that Autel one had the 8K one for a while, and they kind of clamored that was the first of its kind and so forth for a drone. So expect them to be pushing that, I guess, really heavily in terms of the fact that it shoots 5.4K. I know a lot of people often say, oh, they don't need more than 4K, but it helps a lot. Even if you're, say, publishing something in 1080p, you can scale it, it looks a lot sharper, or at the same time, it gives you so much more flexibility to edit the stuff. So that is the date for the Air2s unveiling date. It's coming really soon. I guess with that in mind, as usual, when it comes to stuff like this, it comes down to things like regulations as well. Can you actually fly it and all that? And it was kind of interesting because I know in the US they have all those changes with the drone regulations, and apparently they're going to administer a test for even recreational flyers, like this one here. It's called the Recreational UAS Safety Test. And what was really fascinating about this is they're looking for people to actually, I guess, in some ways administer the test. And I was thinking, oh no, are they gonna turn it into a get-rich-quick scheme, kind of like in Canada, I guess, where a lot of people who have never actually flown a drone, never flown it that much, for some reason they're charging hundreds of dollars and stuff for courses. I mean, it's ridiculous. It doesn't even focus on safety. But that's what kind of got me interested, because reading this here, it says test administration. Once the onboarding process is complete and the FAA signs the MOA, the TA is authorized to begin administering the trust. And it says here in terms of costs, the FAA will not provide any funds to test administrators. Any equipment costs associated with administering the trust are the responsibility of the TA. Each TA will bear the full cost it incurs in performing, managing, and administering the trust. And here, I think is the most interesting point. It says here, note, test administrators are prohibited from charging a fee, either directly or indirectly, i.e. requiring membership to individuals taking the trust. That's kind of interesting and good in my opinion. So people can't, I guess, take advantage of people in that way. At the same time, it does make me wonder, what's the incentive for people to actually do this or host it if it's actually costing them money too? Is it just one of those things where they're trying to be a good citizen, or is it a way, I guess, to increase some kind of relationship or exposure with them and the FAA and all that, or with the drone industry in general? But either way, I think that's better. You can't charge money for really basic stuff, for example. And I would imagine, hopefully, if they're forcing everyone to actually do this down there, it'll be a really common sense test. I don't know, I guess that's for you guys to tell me how it is down there. It's like everywhere in the world has little aspects that make sense, and then you put them together, it would be the best, in my opinion, regulation overall to actually focus on safety while not actually hindering people from using it. For example, people literally just flying toys. Alright, see you guys later.